Good morning, I'm WaywornWyrm, and welcome to my channel. And welcome back to Spaces Wide and Good Friends Are Too Few. Episode 9. Ross 128. It was almost 48 hours later before the next contact appeared. A Trafalgar-class warship intercepted the two task groups. The two task groups were about 2.6 million kilometers apart, while the Trafalgar was about 19.3 million kilometers away from them, on a heading almost perfect for the planet. The maximum range of the Burkett Dynamics 15 centimeter near ultraviolet lasers that the 6 ships carried was only 180,000 kilometers. Given the speed of the ships involved, if they all moved toward the other at top speed, it would take just under 32 minutes to be in range. Estimated time to engagement is 31 minutes 48 seconds, the sensor officer reported to Captain Halloway. He nodded. Thank you. Continue course to the planet. The Trafalgar's moving away. There's no estimated time to engagement anymore, the officer reported a few minutes later. The Trafalgar continued to move away at full speed, with the human ships only being able to track it by its much stronger active sensor. 2 hours later, the ships became aware of the electromagnetic signature of the home world of the People's Republic of Anarchzeta, as the Trafalgar continued to make best time away from them. Early the next morning, about 4 hours after the population popping up on sensors, the task groups were near the edge of the Trafalgar sensor range when it slowed to match their speed. It continued to move away from them, but it was no longer outpacing them. By this point, the task groups were deeper into Ross 128 than any human ship had ever been. A new sensor officer was at the station now when they looked up. Sir, 3 contacts. New class, designation Chatham. They're about 6.7 million kilometers in front of us. We cannot pick them up on sensors at this time. We only have them due to their active sensors, which we seem to be fairly deep into. This report disturbed Oscar more than he would ever show. If they needed any more proof that the People's Republic was more advanced than humanity, this was it. Instead, he simply nodded. Good. Continue to monitor. A few seconds later, another update came. They appear to be capable of 4,500 kilometers per second. 10 seconds later. They're moving away from us. 5 minutes later, the Bunker Hill, the Ariel, and the Acheron were destroyed in nuclear fire as 38 missiles hit the task group, spread evenly among the 3 ships. As the new commanding officer of the task groups in Ross 128, Captain Alfonso Vandewalker made the decision to pick up the life pads and run for Seoul. 5 seconds later, Task Group Chancellorville joined the Task Group Bunker Hill. At least, that's what the official account reads. Some stories float around that the Chancellorsville itself managed to survive the blast and to start limping home. Click. Amber light flashes through the haze, and back to dim red light. Click. Pale faces bathed in amber light, and back to dim red light. Click. Sparks sputter out from damaged walls, and back to dim red light. Click. Dead bodies pulled away from duty stations by living crew, and back to dim red light. Click. A voice breaks the silence. Get us heading back to the jump point. I need a report on what we've got. and then back to dim red light. Click! We have 2 ion drives active. 3 are down. 1 functioning laser. 2 are down. Jump drive is down. 2 of 8 crew quarters and their life support is down. Most of our fuel storage was ripped open. We have 50,000 liters left. Our fire control is down. Almost all of our armor is stripped away. And back to dim red light. Alfonso banged his fist into the non-functioning table in front of him. And the Lexington-class jump cruiser does not come equipped with active sensors because it was never supposed to operate by itself, and adding in the sensors would put it oversized and under speed. We weren't supposed to ever be this outclassed by anyone. The sensor officer cleared her throat. I'm picking up a total of 181 survivors in 5 life pod clusters, including Captain Oscar Halloway and Commander Jay Guerin. They're dead, but don't yet know it. If we go back for them, we'll join them in their fate. Our only chance is to get some of these goddamn engines working so we can pick up some speed and hope to outrun whatever those small ships are, and then get our jump engine back online and head home. If we can put some distance between us and them in this damaged of a state, maybe we'll be able to hide out from their sensors in the background radiation. Alfonso looked over the shoulder of the navigator and did the math quickly for how long it would take them at current speed to reach the jump point. The good news is they'd have plenty of time to repair the jump drive in the 6.5 days it would take them. The bad news is it would be 6.5 days, and they could have enemy ships right next to them, and they would have no idea. The navigator looked up at him with a determined look on his face, but the fear and concern was there right under it. Alfonso gripped his shoulder reassuringly. They had no hope of living. But if he could help it, it would only be him and his navigator who would ever know that. Oscar had been right when he said he would be bringing them to their deaths. 4 hours, 16 minutes later, the Chancellorsville joined their task group mates in destruction. 38 missiles to a single ship. They stood no chance. They had traveled 27 million kilometers, but hadn't succeeded on repairing anything. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Space is Wide and Good Friends Are Too Few. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of the Monster Manual Backward. Thank you.